Good evening, folks. This is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Bring you a grand solar minimum update on Friday, January 19th, 10:50 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. And you're looking at Mount Agung's Strombolian eruption moments ago, sending lava and gases 5.5 kilometers into the atmosphere. This is an epic event. These people in the homes below here were probably quite frightened. And we're going to watch it right before the update. That is a taste of things to come. If you do not, there's very few views on this video as we're doing it. 2,000 views. People around the world do not know what's happening, but we're reporting on it. Stormy weather through the weekend in North America. Look at the West Coast here. This is through Sunday, up to 12 inches through Denver, North Platte. There's a blizzard warning is going to be in effect tomorrow in this area as this moves to the right. Rain locally in Northern California, Redding. There should be flooding. Sierras are getting some little bit of taste of snow, but the next event in a few days is really going to blow this out of the water. What are they talking about? Huge storm pounding the West Coast as East sees a warm-up. One man is dead, washed away by these waves. This is them trying to save him. This is the rescue crews rushing to try to save a man in Oregon who did not make it, apparently. A series of storms have lined up to bring rain, snow, and wind and more waves to the West Coast over the weekend. Waves of 20 to 40 feet pounded the Pacific Northwest coast from Washington to Oregon, producing flooding and damaging the coastal cities. At least one man was swept to sea in Depot Bay, Oregon, and presumed dead after the Coast Guard stopped the search for him late Thursday. Prayers up to that guy. Precipitation records set in northeast Nevada after a storm came through. They have been in record drought there. This is coming out of Reno. Winter storm moving through the eastern Nevada after dumping a foot of snow in the Sierras set a precipitation record in north central part of the state on Friday. And winter storm warning was in effect for near Utah, where 8 to 12 inches was forecast in the upper elevations. The storm is going to be moving across the upper Midwest. On January 18th, yesterday, record cold in Tampa Bay. We reported on it. On January 19th, 1977, record snow. What's going on? I wonder if anyone knows about a correlation between these events. Let's go to the data. Guys, you're looking at the yearly average sunspot numbers from 1610 to 2017. And if we go back to 1977 here in the solar minimum of cycle 20, that is when the record snow in Florida fell. And if we go to where we are right now, in the solar minimum of cycle 24, we're in a lower point, but we're just coming off of this solar max. So we're going to expect for the next several years similar events in Florida unfolding similar to the 1977 snow in Tampa. I'll leave you links to all this. Guys, if you don't know where that is, it's the bottom left of the video here, down here. Live updates as snow batters Scotland with roads now turning to ice. People across central Scotland and southern Scotland struggled to get home earlier, and conditions are still treacherous. The next 24 hours calling for snow warnings and wind warnings. She has a fabulous red dress on just for the event. And let's get rid of her. I'll leave you links to that. Tropical cyclone Berguitta hits Mauritius, and that is in the Reunion Islands. And if you don't know where that is, it's off the southeastern side of Afrique here. Here's Madagascar. It's a tiny island on Reunion. I would hate to live there to have a storm like this here. It's this little rock right here. Okay? So you're all situated. There's the rock. Reunion. Mauritius. It's a geography lesson. Tropical storm Berguitta hits Mauritius in La Reunion with 800 millimeters of rain in 24 hours. Tropical cyclone Berguitta produced huge amounts of rain and sustained winds of over 120 kilometers per hour as its center passed over Mauritius. Cosmic ray flux much and extremely close to La Reunion. And that is a really slow volcanic boom. They's exploding. We'll get to that. Mauritius center moved over southeastern part of Mauritius around 5 UTC on January 18th with maximum sustained winds of 120 kilometers per hour, causing agricultural damage, flash floods, and cutting off water and power supplies, which will be repeated again and again as we move forward. There was no major structural damage reported and no loss of lives. Heads up. But there were awesome pictures of a bunch of people looking at tons of water. And this guy wading through it. And what do we have here? A black screen. This is wonderful. It was dark in this shot. Let's go the other way. Nope. They don't want to show us any pictures. Oh, there's the flood in the road, and he has a yellow jacket on. Definitely, totally flux there. This guy's driving through that. I don't know what people think. And here again, and more rain. And another black screen. Let's go to the cool shit. Cool stuff. Let's go to the Strombolian eruption happening just moments ago at Mount Agung. Look at this plume. I wish I lived there. Look at the amount of lights down there. Look at the people that are witnessing this event. It's awesome. We're covering it. Now, guys, real quick primer here. What's happening here is as cosmic rays increase and they come down here with our waning magnetosphere, they enter the subsurface here and they hit little subatomic particles called muons. Now, the muons are down here that are getting hit by the cosmic rays, and they get all hot and excited, and they warm up these magmas that then start flowing towards the volcano. And then when they get up here towards the volcano, that's what they have to do. It's like a big zit on the surface of the earth, and they start erupting. Now, based on what we've been observing here at Mount Agung, this is getting more and more active. And this isn't the only volcano that's getting more and more active as we descend into the grand solar minimum. This is coming from the Watchers, one of our partners. Strombolian eruption at Mount Agung, ash to 5.5 kilometers, which is 18,000 feet for you Americans. Activity at Agung continues to fluctuate at high levels. A notable Strombolian eruption just took place, and we watched it. And that's not the only volcano. Agung, here's the news. I'll leave you links to this from Volcano Discovery. There is an advisory, and it is at orange here. The aviation color is currently at orange. Red would be the highest. But let's talk Kadovar, another grand solar minimum volcano where the magma is being heated by cosmic rays, and the muons are heating that magma. It's a silica-rich volcano. The eruption of the volcano continues with intense, near-constant explosive activity, generating ash plumes that rise to approximately 10,000 feet, according to the Rabaul Volcanic Observatory. A short lava flow is descending on the island's volcanic flank, but it is unclear whether it has reached the ocean at this point. A seismometer has been installed on the island and is detecting ongoing tremor, indicating the continued rise of magma. Guys, this is the one that we're predicting at VEI 5 or greater to create the new caldera. The lateral equivalent back in the Dalton minimum would be Tambora. Emissions of sulfur dioxide also remain high, suggesting that the magma remains significant. How the eruption evolves is impossible to predict, but due to its vicinity to the seawater, the risk of a large phreomagmatic, that's a big word, phreomagmatic explosion caused when water gets in contact with magma that we've discussed here in days past, they're catching on. I think they're watching. And potential tsunamis that could be triggered with this scenario has been elevated. It will depend very much on the available amount of eruptible magma still stored in the volcano's plumbing system. Well, no it isn't, because as cosmic ray flux increases, the available magma is unlimited. And that's a boom. Now let's talk about the sister of Kadovar. Kadovar erupted historically in the Dalton minimum in 1814, and so did Mayon, which is recently awakened in just the last week. Now, geology makes the Mayon volcano visually spectacular and dangerously explosive. It's the perfect cinder cone shape, the perfect little volcano that you make with paper mache when you're a child, that you fill with vinegar and baking soda, and you go shh. But it's not fun when you live on the flanks of this and lava cascades down the slopes and the flesh melts off of your bones. Which may be the case for people that are stupid enough to return because they have just lifted the evacuation order on 8,000 of the residents. And that is a heads down, thumbs down, idiot move. A magnitude 3.1 earthquake occurred yesterday under the northern caldera of the volcano at Öraefajökull in Iceland, and we've been watching this. It's a shallow depth, suggesting it's most likely caused by the adjustment of the glacier, not by magma intrusion, thankfully. However, seismic activity on the volcano remains above background and is being monitored. And as cosmic rays increased, which we covered last night and gave you links to, so will the magma. Now, guys, we had a pretty significant earthquake today south of Southern California here in Mexico. A 6.3 in Loreto, Mexico. It actually went off in the Bay of California here along the San Andreas fault line. Let me know if you felt it. I'm sure I have people that I know down in Baha. You're looking at the K7RA solar update. Came out just moments ago. It was a quiet week in space weather. There were 0 sunspots over the weekend and geomagnetic indicators rising only slightly. We expect this. We're in grand solar minimum and descending even further. The sun is eventually going to shut down at some point in the next few decades. Pew! And that's a boom because volcanoes, they's exploding. Now, if you don't know about the K7RA update, it comes from all the ham operators. It's the ARRL newsletter, the National Association for Amateur Radio. Guys, we're going to start a ham radio network so that each and every one of you can be keeping in contact in case the SH, you know what I'm talking about. When that shit hits the fan, we need to communicate. And ham radios are cheap and portable these days. You can get them on Amazon or eBay. Check them out. $100, $200. We'll start a network. We'll start talking to people. Each other. Now, the geomagnetic field will be quiet on these dates, but active and disturbed in just 3 days on the 22nd. And then we're looking for February 4th to 5th and 10th for geomagnetic activity. But right now we're pretty quiet. So we're looking for lithospheric flexure, which we got in the form of a 6.3 popping off on the lower San Andreas in Mexico here. No other quakes of note. There's been some long-term tremors rumbling here in the Montana area under the Basin and Range, and a lot of people are concerned about it. I've seen some chatter on the interwebs. Guys, this is the Basin and Range area, so here we are in these quakes. And what I'm thinking is that there's some kind of swelling of the planet Earth currently. Because of the weakening magnetosphere, there's an inflationary Earth theory, and I believe that the planet is actually getting larger. And this area is a Basin and Range province, so if everything was getting slightly larger due to inflation, you would have this Horst-and-Graben effect and lots of long-term seismic activity up there from those blocks, fault blocks, scraping down into the valleys, the Horst-and-Graben. So these would be long 24, 36-hour seismic events. That's just my take on it. Now, this is coming from one of our subscribers. This is his blog or his website. I'm going to link you to it. It's awesome. Check it out. Rod Van Meckelson. He's got all the links to everyone that's important. Now, David Dubine and I just got off of a long multi-hour conversation today. That's ADAPT 2030 if you don't know him. He talked to John Casey over the holidays, who's doing fine and recovering well. So for those of you that have been praying for him, your prayers have come true. John Casey is recovering well. He's doing great. He will be back with us in no time. But The big news tonight is that Adapt 2030, Oppenheimer Ranch Project, and the Ice Age Farmer are going to be doing a live radio program on February 2nd, Friday night. It is a live radio show, and it's on Revolution Radio. We're going to be promoting it for the weeks coming before the event. The three of us are going to have a 2-hour discussion. The first hour is going to be on the problems associated with the Grand Solar Minimum, and the second hour will be on the solutions. Now, a good primer here is Rod Van Mechelen. I wish I could pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm destroying it. Global cooling. Are you ready for the real climate change? So read his little blog here and give him some support here. He's got great links to all the important people and all the important links that you didn't know about. Check out Armstrong Economics and how solar cycles affect the economy and his other links. Now, Adapt 2030 and Oppenheimer Ranch and Ice Age Farm are going to be doing this live podcast, and it might become a regular thing. But this 2-hour program, we need everyone in the community to tell everyone to be listening to it. We'll be supplying you links to it, and that's a heads up and a big boom. Because volcanoes, they's exploding. Now, as far as this being the hottest year ever, this is when Al Gore won the Nobel Prize in 2007. It's definitely hotter than it is here at the end of 2017. And we know about El Nino. And you can see that the global temperatures have been going down. There's a downward trend in the last 15 years. And let's look at John Casey's work, because he's coming back. He's recovering, and we love that guy. The relational cycle that he describes, we are in, and we are down here in it. This is uncharted territory, folks. Cosmic ray flux is at all-time highs. Volcanoes, they's exploding. Share this with people you love. This is where the truth comes from. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance in the Grand Solar Minimum. And this channel is about solutions. So heads up about that radio broadcast that's coming up in just 2 weeks. And be safe, everybody.